स्वाध्याय टीवी. डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब आंबेडकर ओपन यूनिवर्सिटी.
Namaskar dear students, I Dr. Himanshu Patel welcome you from the Chaitanya studio of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University. We are in lecture series in Java programming. In last lecture, we have discussed simple data type, literal, identifier, variable, type conversion and rules for type promotion. In today's session, we will discuss 4 important programming elements, that is operator, expression, statement and block. We start with operator. Now, what is operator? Operator are generally used to perform arithmetic and logical operation in programming language, and as its name suggests, it operates on some value and gives you value back, which is after performing operation. For example, we take simple example of addition. We know that to add two numbers we have plus operator, which is used to perform addition of two numbers. Now, these two values are known as a operand and plus sign is known as a operator, and whatever addition of these two numbers returned is can be stored into third variable. So, operator is a basically used to perform arithmetic and logical operations, and depending on how many values it operates, we can classify operators into 3 categories. First is called unary operator, which takes only single operand. We have binary operators, which operates on 2 value. Now, most of the operators are binary, and we have also ternary operator or conditional operator, which accepts 3 value instead of 1 and 2. So, in Java, we can classify operator into many categories. On screen, you can see the type of operators available into Java. They are assignment and arithmetic operator, unary operators, equality and relational operators, conditional operators, which is also known as a ternary operator. We have type comparison operator called instance of, and we have bitwise and bit shift operators. Now, all these operators are classified based on the type of work they carried out. We start with arithmetic operator and equality operator. In arithmetic operator, we have operators such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, division and remainder. Now, last operator is assignment operator, which is used to assign one value to another value. On screen, you can see examples of how to use these operator. For example, A and B are two values. We can add two values into C using assignment and addition operator. So, you can write down C is equal to A plus B. Similarly, to subtract two value, we can write down C is equal to A minus B, and the one operator which might be new for you is remainder operator. So, what does it stores? As its name suggests, it stores remainder after dividing A by B into C. For example, A is 11 and B is 3. So, after dividing 11 by 3, we have remainder 2. So, it stores 2 into C. So, these are the example of assignment and arithmetic operator. Then we have unary operator. I defined unary operator earlier. It takes only one operand, and in unary operator we have incremented operator, decrement operator, we have bitwise complement operator, we have not or logical not operator. So, all these are example of unary operator. Now, we see these operators on screen. On screen, you can see the first operator is plus. Here it is not addition operator, but it is a unary plus to indicate positive value. Similarly, we have unary minus operator to negates an expression or show negative value. Then we have plus plus, which is also called incremented operator, and for example, if I write down I plus plus or plus plus I, then it increments the value of I by 1. Similarly, we have minus minus operator, which is also called decrement operator, and as its name suggests, it's decrease a value by 1. Now, you can see on screen that first is plus plus I. So, I is written after plus plus. So, these kind of notation or incremented operator is called prefix increment operator, and in second case we write down I and then plus plus. So, this type of notation is called postfix increment operator. Now, what is difference between these two? Plus plus I immediately increments I by 1 and whatever its value is used in expression, and in case of I plus plus the value is incremented by 1, but it will be used next time you refer I. Similarly, minus minus I will immediately decrement value of I by 1, and I minus minus will decrement value of I by 1, but it will be used the next time you refer I. Similarly, we have not operator. So, it is also known as a logical complement operator, and it inverts the value of boolean. For example, if I write down not into bracket a greater than b, suppose a is greater than b, then it returns true. So, not will convert these into false, and if a is not greater than b, then it returns false. So, not will convert it into true. So, this is used to negate logical expression. Now, next operators are equality and relational operator. Now, in program we need to compare two value for equality or inequality and greater than or less than. So, for that we have relational operator, because it establishes the relation between two variables, which variable is larger, which variable is smaller, whether two variables are equal or not. So, that is why these are known as a relational operator. The first operator is also called equality operator, which compares two value for equality. Suppose I write down a double equals b. What does it mean? If a equal to b, then it returns true, otherwise it returns false. So, these operators are also called Boolean operator, because it returns either true or false. Second operator is not equal to. It returns true if left hand operand and right hand operand are not equal. Similarly, greater than returns true if left hand operand is greater than right hand operand, and greater than or equal to returns true if left hand operand is greater than or equal to true. Similarly, less than returns true if left hand operand is less than right hand operand, and otherwise it returns false. And likewise, we have less than or equal to operator, which returns true if left hand operand is less than or equal to right hand operand, otherwise false. So, these are the examples of equality and relational operator. Now, in program we need to concate more than one condition. To perform this kind of operation, we have conditional operator or logical operators. The first operator is called AND operator or conditional AND operator, and for that we have two ampersand sign, and you can see on screen example. A is maximum only if A is greater than B and A is greater than C. Suppose we have three variable A, B and C, and we want to check whether A is maximum. The right condition is that A should be greater than B and A should be greater than C. So, if first condition is true and second condition is true, then and returns true, otherwise it returns false. Now, second operator is conditional OR operator. Here it is also sometimes called a loose condition, because if first expression is true, then it returns true. irrespective of second expression, and if any of the expression is true, it always returns true. So, in this condition it checks whether A equals B or A equals C, then it returns. The next operator is instance of operator. Now, instance of operator compares object to a specified type. Remember, here we are not interested in value, but we are interested in type. For example, we have class A and we have object x and y. So, we can say x is of type A and y is of type irrespective of value that is stored inside x and y. So, these type of comparison where we are interested not in value, but the type of operand, we can use this instance of operator. So, instance of operator compares an object to specified type. You can use it to test if an object is instance of a class, an instance of a subclass, or an instance of a class that implements a particular interface. In inheritance, we will see how to use this instance of operator, because in inheritance we can say a child class is also of type parent class. So, we discuss this instance of operator when we learn inheritance later on, but right now we can remember that instance of operator is used to check whether particular object is of any type, given type or not. The next operators are bitwise and bit shift operator. Now, as its name suggests, it operates on bits. Now, we know the data type. For example, byte requires 8 bits. So, in that case we can perform various types of operation that directly performs bitwise operation on given operands. So, for that we have different types of bitwise operator. The first is a bitwise AND, then bitwise OR, then bitwise exclusive OR, then unary bitwise complement. The rest of the operator shown on screen are also known as a bit shift operator, because they actually shift the bits from their position. So, for that we have sign left shift, sign right shift and unsign right shift. So, these are called bitwise operator and bitwise shift operator. Now, we discuss truth table for these bitwise operator. For example, we take one bit from first operand and second bit from another operand, and we check what will happen for different combination of these bits. So, on screen you can see a bitwise AND. The red line shows the result of particular operation. So, here suppose bit from first operand is 0 and bit from second operand is 0, then AND will returns 0. Similarly, we have 0 and 1, the result is also 0, because one operand is 0. Likewise, we have 1 0, result is 0, and if both bit is set to 1, then AND returns 1. So, we can say in case of AND we have only get 1 if both bit value are set to 1. In case of bitwise OR, we have if both operands set to 0, the OR returns 0. If first bit is set to 0 and second bit is 1, then we have 1, because OR will check either of the bit should be set to 1, then it returns 1. Similarly, we have 1 0. So, it again returns 1, because first bit is set to 1, and in last we can see we have 1 1. So, again it returns 1. So, we can say in case of bitwise OR, we always get 1 if one of the bit is set to 1, and we only get 0 if both bit are set to 0. in case of exclusive OR, if any of the bit is similar, we returns 0. So, here 0 0 is same, both bit are same, so we return 0. Likewise, in last case we have 1 1, so both of bit are same, so again we get 0. But if any of the operand or bit value is 1, then we get 1. Last is called bitwise complement. So, if bit is 0, it is set to 1, and if bit is 1, it will set to 0. Now, we discuss different types of operator. Now, in any expression or formula, we using many operators at a time. So, which operator will be evaluated first? So, for that Java defines operator precedence. Operator precedence defines which operator will be evaluated first. So, on screen you can see the operator on top has a higher precedence, that means postfix operators have higher precedence than unary, and unary operator has a higher precedence than multiplicative, and multiplicative operator has higher precedence than additive, and likewise as you go from top to bottom we have higher precedence. So, if expression use multiple operators, the operators listed on top of table will be evaluated first, and the operators which are at the bottom will be evaluated later on, and it follows these hierarchy. So, low on table represent low priority and top on table represent high priority. As I mentioned earlier, operator with higher precedence are evaluated before operators with relatively lower precedence, and operator on the same line have equal precedence. Then when operator of equal precedence appears in the same expression, a rule must govern which is evaluated first. Now, all binary operators except for the assignment operator are evaluated from left to right, and assignment operator are evaluated from right to left. Now, we understand these operator precedence with one example. So, you can have better idea about operator precedence, but for that you have to remember this table. Now, we take one example. For example, we have integer value I is set to 10, and we write down integer n is equal to I plus plus and then modulo 5. So, you might think what will be the answer and which operator is evaluated first. So, we know that I plus plus will be evaluated first, and then we apply modulo 5. So, we want to know what are the values of I and n after the code is executed. So, you might think what will be the answer. I will be set to 11 because we have incremented value of I by 11, but n is assigned to 0. Why? Now, we know that in case of postfix incremented operator, the value of I will be incremented by 1, but not used immediately. So, I is only 10, and 10 if divided by 5 will give remainder 0. Now, we use prefix increment operator. So, I is again 10, but this time we have used prefix incremented operator. So, value of I will be become 11 and immediately used in expression. So, 11 modulo 5 will give remainder of 1. So, we can say I is 11 and n is 1. I hope you understand this example. Now, we take one more example where we use more than one operator and operator with same precedence. The previous example was clear because one operator has a higher precedence, obvious higher precedence than other, but what will happen if both operators have same precedence? So, we take another example. On screen you can see we have expression like this: 1 plus 2 minus 3 into 4 divided by 4. Now, how these will be evaluated? So, we know that the multiplicative operators have higher precedence than additive. So, obviously multiplication and division will be evaluated first, but remember multiplication and division has the same precedence. So, what will happen? As we mentioned earlier, these operators if have same precedence will be evaluated from left to right. So, 3 into 4 is evaluated first. So, in first line you can see the first 3 and 4 is evaluated, and then whatever answer we get will be divided by 5. So, our answer is 12 by 5, which is performed second, and 12 by 5 will result in 2, because when we divide one integer by integer, the result is always integer. So, we have 2 then, and then we have 1 plus 2 3 minus these 2, which ultimately results in 1. So, our answer will be 1. So, this is a example where we use operator with higher precedence and same precedence, and know what will happen when two operators have same precedence. Remember, they will be evaluated from left to right. So, operator on left are in expression will be evaluated first. We already write down some of the expression. So, expression is a construct made of variable, operator and method invocation, which are constructed according to the syntax of the language that evaluated to a single value. One example of expression is shown on screen to find roots of quadratic equation. So, we have formula minus b plus square root of b square minus 4ac and whole divided by 2a. So, this is a example of expression. We have used operators, different operators, and we have also used method invocation, which is a math.sqrt to find square root of b square minus 4ac. So, this is the example of expression. Now, what is a statement? A statement forms a complete unit of execution. We can classify a statement into different types. For example, expression statement, which might be assignment expression or any use of incremented or decremented operator, method invocation such as math.sqrt, and object creation expression that we discuss later on. And we have declaration statement that we have seen earlier, and the control flow statement that we discuss later on, like if else ladder, for loop, while loop, switch statement, etc. So, these are control flow statement that we are going to discuss in next session, but we can say a statement is a unit of execution and we can classify statement based on what it does. A block is group of 0 or more statement between balanced braces, that is opening brace and closing brace, and can be used anywhere, and inside block a single statement is also allowed, and it is also considered as a single statement. What are the examples of block? We write down a main class, which is again a block. Inside main we write down main method, which is again example of block, and suppose I write down control flow statements such as if else inside these main method, then it is again considered as another block where you can write down your statements. But why we need to understand these block? Because Java restrict the scope and lifetime based on blocks. Now, suppose I declare one variable inside particular block, I cannot access that variable outside this block, and Java will automatically remove value of that variable whenever it finish that block. So, that is why block is important. The next we understand the bitwise operator with particular example. Now, suppose we have A is equal to 60. So, in comment you can see its binary equivalent. In B we have 15. So, you can see its binary equivalent also, and inside C we have initialized 0. Now, we want to discuss what will happen when we perform binary operations or bitwise operator on A and B and store value inside C. So, we first perform AND operation. So, here we have already discussed truth table of A and B. So, we starts from leftmost digit. So, 0 and 1 will result in 0, then 0 and 1 again result in 0, but these next to 1 and 1 1 are matching. So, it will be again initialized to 1 1, and all rest of the 1 0, 1 0, 0 0 and 0 0 will result in 0 0. So, we have answer which is shown in comment. Suppose I want to perform OR operation. So, anywhere we have 0 and 1 or 1 1, we will get 1, that is shown on screen, that you can again verify from truth table that we have discussed. When we perform exclusive OR, if both digits is 1 and if both digits are 0, then we have 0, otherwise we have 1. If I write down bitwise complement for A, wherever 0 is there in A, it will converted into 1 and 1 is converted into 0. So, we can see the result on screen. Now, suppose we want to shift bit of A by 2. So, these operator will shift 2 bits left position in A. So, we can see first 0 0 are discarded and these 1 will be shifted to 2 left side position. So, we have these 4 1 0 0 and the remaining last 2 position will be filled with 0. Generally, this bitwise shift is used to perform multiplication. So, here it multiplies the original operand by 4. Similarly, bitwise shift right is used to perform division. So, again it will shift all digits to right side 2 position. So, we have these 4 4 and filled in position are remaining position are filled with 0, and generally it performs division. So, if I shift by 2, it will divide by 2 raised to 2, which is 4. So, we have 15 in case of bitwise shift right by 2. Now, we want to understand bitwise shift operator. So, we take this example. Here we have A is equal to 52, B is equal to 2 and C is equal to 0 and D is equal to minus 16, and we can see binary equivalent in comment. Now, we want to shift right by 2 digit bits of A by 2 digits. So, you can see the result on screen. This will again shift all bits to right position by 2. So, the result is shown on screen, and we have last operator. Now, what is difference between second and last operator? So, generally if value is negative, it will be converted into positive. So, here These will again shift all bits of A by 2. So, the result is same as a previous example, but what will happen if value is negative? So, here we have D is initialized to minus 16, which is whose binary equivalent is shown on comment. So, it will shift. So, it will shift all the bits by 2. So, now most significant bit is initialized to 0. So, my value becomes positive. So, this is the only difference between two form of bitwise shift right. So, in today's session we have discussed operator, expression, statement and block. We have also take examples of how these operators works. We have also discussed operator precedence, so that you can understand actually how complex formula or expression is evaluated. I hope you enjoyed this session. Thank you and happy learning.
स्वाध्याय टीवी